When the blitz is on, you need to protect your most valuable asset. That's why the NFL looks to Cisco Security, powered by AI, to protect their data from cyber attacks. When the game is on the line, the NFL relies on Cisco.
Good afternoon. My apologies for being a little tardy. It was Stacy's fault. 100%. Try to be on time for these. So Caden and David, they'll go on injured reserve. Look, obviously David is a huge loss, and as well as Caden, but we'll put those guys on injured reserve, and we have a big game coming up here against the Dolphins. On another note, new captain. All right, so Hunter Henry will now be a captain for this team, and look, he's done a tremendous job since he's been here, both on the field and off the field. Obviously, his production is up. The quarterbacks have a lot of trust in him, and also the players offensively, defensively, and on the special teams look up to a guy like that who's played a lot of ball in this league. So Hunter Henry will be a captain. Fire away.
You get 3 open spots now.
Yeah.
Two guys. Is that just going to be Bourne, Taki, and Mapu, or is it sort of?
Yeah, it's still kind of up in the air. We'll go out and practice today and see, how everyone's feeling. Some of our guys are dealing with some things that we just don't know at this current time.
Is there a chance Caden returns this season, or is it kind of over for him?
No, there's a chance.
How's the rest of the line looking health-wise? I know Layden and Leverett have also been on the injury report this year. How have they practiced these first couple of days?
Yeah, we'll see. They've been limited. At the same time, we'll see what it looks like going out there today.
Historically, Jonathan Jones has performed relatively well against Tyreek Hill. He's also the guy, Christian Gonzalez, who's kind of taking the lead as quote-unquote the number one quarterback. How do you find a balance there going into a game like this? On those kind of historical precedents for a guy like Jonathan Reed versus Christian?
Yeah, I'm all for being transparent, but I'm not going to talk about – that's one I'm not going to really talk about. What I will say is, look, we have confidence in those guys, going out there and getting the job done, and we'll see how the game goes.
Jerod, on Wednesday you made clear that you're not, worried about the state of the locker room at 1-3. A team employee on a Team of Purdue show yesterday said he felt the team was teetering on a mutiny, as a quote. Understanding what that means, have players demonstrated to you they want a change in leadership and or openly defied your orders, or those of your coaches?
No, look, my focus is definitely on the Dolphins, 100%, and the guys in the locker room. So I haven't heard that, and that's journalism for you. I'm not sure.
It's from the team, so I wanted to check with another team employee here.
No, like I said, I haven't heard that, and try not to pay attention to that stuff. So you got to ask him.
Does it feel like there's frustration in the locker room?
It's always frustrating when you're not winning. The guys put a lot of work in, and everyone wants to try to find a solution right now while we're going through this transition. So people are definitely frustrated, and that's a normal human response. I feel pretty good about, the way that we're going. I used the analogy this morning. It's almost like flying through the clouds, but you have to use the instruments instead of really, getting until you get to clear skies. So, when I took this job, I knew the lumps would come. It's part of the transition.
Did you check with John Jones about that analogy?
I'm still kind of like, I don't know if I want him to be my pilot at this time. No, he's done a good job. He's done a good job.
For 2 days now, KJ Osborne has been on the did not participate list. Can you provide any update on just what's going on with him?
Yeah, he's dealing with an injury. He may have a chance to make it to the game, but we'll just have to see.
I also wanted to ask about Kendrick Bourne. What do you think about the dance moves having those guys?
But one thing about Kendrick, look, great energy, and you could honestly feel the different vibe just in the huddles. It's good to have him back, great energy, and a good player for us. You always want good players on the field.
The offensive line seems like such a key in terms of developing some continuity over the last 2 days of practice.
Yep.
Have you felt like you've been able to get 5 in there and work with them, that you can go into this game Sunday and feel good about what you have?
That's a difficult question. Look, we'll see, what practice looks like today, because once again, you have guys, Nick and some of these guys dealing with things. So we'll just have to see.
Going back to Hunter, he had an opportunity this past offseason maybe to go elsewhere if he wanted to.
That's right.
He committed early in the process. What did he show you to want to be part of the effort?
I kind of think it starts with just his leadership and the way that he sees the game and how the game should be played and how guys should prepare for games and things like that. And he was excited to come back, and I was excited to have him.
With Tyler Huntley being the quarterback for Miami now, are you guys anticipating at all seeing things that he did in Baltimore now that they've had more time to work with him? Do you think they might do some things that the Dolphins don't typically do?
Yeah, 100%. It's a different quarterback back there, and you're trying to, as you game plan, you want to put plays in that the quarterback is comfortable with. And I'm sure they went back and looked at all those things, and I'm sure we'll see them here on Sunday.
Did you see much of that against Tennessee, or are you expecting even more new stuff?
Look, I think every week you have to expect the unexpected. I mean, that's part of the game that we play. And, we talked about the scripts and how offenses, kind of try to throw you off and things like that. So I would anticipate seeing some of that stuff, though.
With all these moving parts in the offensive line, how's Scott Peters done this year? Just
Yeah, he's done well. He's still working with those guys every day and developing them. I know the guys love him, as well as Kugler and Mike in there as well. So, those guys are getting better every day. And once again, it's tough when you have musical chairs, for example, on the offensive line. But hopefully we kind of settle it down a little bit.
Do you anticipate Darren Hill being back this weekend?
I would say he's close. He's close, and maybe we should start moving these to after practice so I can give you guys a little more information. But he's close, and I don't want to keep saying it, but we'll have to see what he looks like today.
Coach, we make a lot about motion externally because like Kyle Shanahan and Mike McDaniel and what they've done. From your perspective, do you think maybe we kind of put too much emphasis on the importance of motion, and what are some reasons that maybe offenses may not use it as much as some other systems?
Yeah, I mean, look, if you feel like your players are so much better than the other guys, then you don't have to motion as much. Now, look, once you start to motion pre-snap and once you start to move from one side to the other post-snap, I mean, it just causes confusion. It's window dressing. And defenses have to deal with it. It's tough.
How has that changed, as a defensive coach guy who played defense, obviously? The rate of motion at the snap is up from 4% about 8 years ago. Now it's closer to like 30. But what do you see that as a reflection of? Is it just that Shanahan tree expanding, or is there an advantage now being gained by that increase in motion?
Well, it's just about causing confusion. Like, I'm not sure if it's because the tree or whatever it is, but it just causes problems.
Can it ever cause confusion on the offensive side?
Absolutely.
You guys are, and we asked Alex, we talked about this yesterday, near the bottom of the league in terms of motion at the snap. Is the changing personnel that you've had at all a factor?
Yeah, the more you get into those pre-snap movements, I mean, it's just more for the guys to have to understand. And sometimes, no matter what game you see one guy move, and then it's like the quarterback's like this, like, let's go back to the start and start this thing over again. It just adds to the plate.
We saw Michael Jordan back in practice this week. Do you feel like he earned a starting role in his first 3 games this season?
Well, he did well for us, and this is a guy who he does everything the right way. Now, I'm not saying that it's perfect, but he's done a good job for us.
Going back to motion, I think the Dolphins had 5 penalties related to formation motion on Tennessee.
Yeah.
Is that something that you will remind officials of?
100%, all the time. But once again, you're motioning to out leverage the defense, and they start to do the shaving and things like that. So you gotta. I'm sure the refs have already talked about it.
Have you noticed as you've looked at tape the refs clamping down on the cheat motion?
I think every staff is different, and we always say we'll do business as business is being done. So some staffs, they call more holding calls, or more pass interference calls, and the players know that because I talk about it at the squad meeting the night before the game. Like, who is the referee? What does this group like to call? We talk about that stuff.
Leighton Robinson's put a lot of good things on tape, but also understandably struggled at times. I know in the summer you mentioned you don't want to see air repeaters. So from your perspective, is he growing every week and improving on the things that he struggles with?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, 100%. And I would also say, look, it's a lot to come in here and play. It's a lot for rookies just in general. Especially as you're going through a time of transition and offensive line, in particular, our offensive line right now, to have to play different spots. It's tough. But he'll be a good player for sure.
Jerod, as a head coach, obviously you've done it as a defensive coach and assistant coach. How do you gauge what the mood is in the locker room? Do you have your office door open, or are you talking with guys one-on-one just to kind of gauge how players are responding?
Yeah, I have an open door policy, but I definitely lean on the captains of the team. I lean on those guys to, let me know what the vibe of the team is, and I'm always around too. I always talk to guys, and they walk into my office, and we have those conversations. And once again, it's a process, and we're still kind of growing. Our leaders are growing. The middle class is growing. The rookies are growing, and I like the way that it's going, even though the record may not reflect it at this current time. So,
what have you seen from Kendrick Bourne the last 2 days in practice?
Sorry, say that
Kendrick Bourne, what has he shown you the last 2 days, finally fully in practice?
that he's healthy. Thanks.